To report that Scott Bowden has showed up, maybe to spoil the whole thing right here.
Dave, shut up. Just shut up, Dave, okay? You know, I'm constantly amazed at the tricks you can do with videotape. Now, I returned last week, and I watched a series of videos that made it look like the matches between those two Fraser High School dropouts, PG-13, and the Rock and Roll Express, made it look like it was a real competitive series. Well, PG-13 does not even belong in the same ring with the Rock and Roll Express. PG-13, they should be in the midget division. You know what I'm talking about? They should be wrestling guys like Chili Bowl, Little Beaver, Little Tokyo. Who's that other little midget? Bill Dundee. Guys like that. They would be giants in the world of midget tag team wrestling, I have no doubt. But you see, when you step in there with Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, former world tag team champions, you're in over your head, boys. And I put together my own series of video clips to show you how those matches have really been going down. Let's run the video clip.
Well, I want to take a look at it, and I want you to see this was one of the most competitive series of matches ever in the USWA. Rock and Roll Express against PG-13. Take a look.
I understand why Rock and Roll Express has had all kinds of awards through their wrestling career. I don't know why they feel like they have to go to this point.
Going after J.C. Ice. Now Wolfie. Morton turns the table up.
Well, that was obviously not edited very evenly. It was very one-sided. I want to know what you care anyway. What do you have to do with either one of them?
Hey, I'll tell you what is my business. Ever since I returned, my phone in Germantown has been ringing off the hook. I've got every top name of professional wrestling wanting me to manage them, and now I'm the manager of the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert, and I'll be in their corner this week. How do you like that?
You're managing Rock and Roll Express?
That's exactly right, Dave. Turn up that hearing aid, old man. I'm the manager of the Rock and Roll Express. We're going to take you to school this week, boys.
Well, we'll see. I'll tell you what we're going to do right here. We're going to go to the ring. We got a match coming up. Let's go to Corey for the introduction.
Okay, Dave, we're ready for an opening bout today on USWA Championship Wrestling. First introducing at a combined weight of 445 pounds out of Memphis, Tennessee, Edric Hines, and his partner from every woman's dream, Reggie B. Fine. Well, the opponents today coming in at a combined weight of 398 pounds. From the hood, J.C. Ice, Wolfie D, PG-13. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Bill Russ, the official referee. We're ready for our opener. Over to Lance and Dave.
All right, Corey, thank you very much. PG-13 headed to the ring. Boy, J.C. Ice has got that interesting headgear on today. It's an Uncle Sam hat with earmuffs.
Hey, at the risk of being rude, Dave, after that announcement by Scott Bowden about managing the Rock and Roll Express, I think the Rock and Roll have sunk to a new low. That's all I can say.
Well, we have not been very happy with the Rock and Roll Express situation for some time. Not the same guys that we used to know when Rick and Robert were around here all the time. Underway with Edric Hines starting against Wolfie D in this match.
Edric, an aggressive youngster. He giving away some size in most instances, but he is indeed a very aggressive type of wrestler, but he's going to find meeting him right out there in the middle, going into a standing side headlock, is Wolfie D, and he didn't take a back seat when it comes to aggressiveness to anybody. Back up. Married him over and down onto the mat, and Edric Hines scrapping and fighting all the way. Reggie B. Fine, Edric's partner. Of course, J.C. Ice with Wolfie D. The shoulder puts Hines down on the deck. Grabs the arm, snaps him over and down.
Edric Hines finds himself in trouble as Wolfie D holds on tight. Wolfie D and J.C. Ice have really made a name for themselves. And Scott Bowden out here insulting them earlier, talking about their size. Well, they've been insulted about their size all over America. And when they show up and the match gets underway, everybody realizes, hey, these guys come to wrestle. There's an example right there from J.C. Ice. I noticed Reggie B. Fine not all that anxious to take a tag and get in there either, huh?
Boy, he's firmly planted in that one spot on the ring apron out there, and he's letting Edric take all of the brunt from the PG-13 team. And JC hooks the leg. 1, 2, he got it. He couldn't get that third count. That's what it takes.
Shoulder came up on the count of 3, and referee Bill Rush stopped the count. Here's Wolfie D back in. Puts Edric back on the mat. Over to the rope. Drops down with the lower leg. Now he covers him. 1, 2. Oh, and again at the 2 count. Edric Hines kicks out of it.
Scoop slam, and he throws Edric right over to the corner. Let's bring Reggie into the action. And here comes King Kong. Steps in and tangles it up, but the arm is too quick as Wolfie goes underneath, and JC takes the tag. Rips it around, and speaking of ripping right across the eyes, from Reggie B, who bangs the head of JC Ice into that top turnbuckle. There's the scoop slam. He's a big son of a gun. He's got all the physical part of it down.
He slammed JC and then went to the corner, tagged Edric Hines, and said, now, go get him.
And the tag, the Wolf. Edric. Bam! And Reggie, better pay attention. Reggie wasn't even looking in the ring in there when he got clipped by Wolfie. There's that tilt-a-whirl cover. 1, 2, 3. Got it! What were you doing the entire match, Reggie, for crying out loud? Oh, my goodness. Koko B. Ware.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a parade of people coming out here. We just finished the match. Koko, good to have you back here, but we've got action going in here. We had to have a match, and we'll work you in a little bit later. You know, it's always good to see you.
I just want to come out here to clear something up, you know.
Well, you're going to have to do it a little bit later. Just, you know, we'll catch you later on, and we'll be back in just a moment.
You know, with the bird, Frank and everything, have a good time and everything. So after that, you know, I didn't hear nothing else from Randy. I kept calling Randy and Randy. I said, Randy, I need...
Koko, I hate to interrupt you, but this is not a place to be out here, you know, bringing personal...
Now, Lance Russell, now you know, Lance Russell, what's on your mind, you got to speak it, right?
No, this is...
Don't I have that right?
Yeah, I'm not saying you don't have the right,
well,
Koko, you know that, but good night, we got a match.
About it, you know, all I'm getting from Randy is his answer machine. Every time I done called that man 3 times, and all I'm getting is his answer machine. Now, you know something's wrong. What is it, looking over my ability?
Is that what it is? I don't know what's wrong or anything. If there is anything wrong, Koko, I mean, that's between you and Randy.
What's the matter? Look at these guys up in the ring here. Look at these runners.
Hey, we got a couple of young guys that are on their way up, and Tony Williams in the yellow jacket, and we got the match scheduled.
Well, you know I started here.
We've got to go to the ring.
You know I started here in Memphis, right?
I know that, Koko.
This is where I started, and I've been all over the world.
Yes, you have.
I've been up WWF, and I beat everybody up there.
All right.
And you're sitting, I beat everybody down here.
We'll talk about it later. Corey Macklin, please take it away. We got to get this match started.
Okay, Lance, we're ready for action. 1 fall, 10 minutes, 180 pounds from parts unknown, the Yellow Jacket. And his opponent at 200 pounds out of Cordova, Tennessee, Tony Williams. Bill Rush, the official referee, back to Lance and Dave.
Okay, we got the bell time, and it's time to go with the Yellow Jacket and Tony Williams.
Who are those guys, man? See, there are no wrestlers here. You see, I know I've been around, and I know my ability. I know I'm pretty good.
I know
know I'm good.
I know your ability too.
What happened is if somebody's done called Randy Hale and told him, say, hey, don't bring Koko B. Ware back in here because he is a tough competitor.
Nah, listen, Randy knows talent. He knows your abilities and all that. Listen, these are a couple of young guys in there, and you know how it was when you're on the way up before you got up and got your name and all. That's what these young guys, and they deserve their opportunity.
Well, you know
in there.
exactly. I could beat both of those guys in my street clothes.
We're not talking about that.
I mean, I can beat both of them at the same time. What is wrong with you, man?
Coco, I don't want to be rude
me?
about it, but you're just picking the wrong way to do it. We've got a match we're trying to cover here in the ring.
We'll sit here and watch these jabronis that nobody knows. I mean, these nothing but jabronis. Look at them.
Now, don't be knocking the young kids. There's a whip from Tony
My
Williams.
grandmother can beat both of those guys.
Shoulder pulls off by the Yellow Jacket. Rakes the back of Williams as he comes around with that Russian leg sweep. Takes him down.
You don't understand, though, Lance. Because this here is just a waste of time right here. This is a waste of time.
Yeah, I know. You shouldn't feel that way when you were a youngster coming up.
But I paid my dues. You understand that?
Well, these young fellas are, too.
These guys are not paying no dues. Look at them.
They're up there doing exactly what they're in there for, and that's trying to make a name for himself. And a backdrop coming off the rope.
This is nothing. This is a waste of time. Dave, you know it, Dave. This is a waste of time.
Not a waste of time. It's a competitive match against two young wrestlers.
Why I can't have somebody out here wrestling right now with some competition? You know, with their with the USWA champion.
Over the top. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Koko.
Koko's headed into the ring.
Come on, Koko. Good night.
Picks the Yellow Jacket. Oh, my goodness.
Brain Buster is a specialty of Koko B. Ware. He's got no business being in there. Now, you didn't have to get up there and... You get up
what did
there
that
and
prove?
jump a couple of guys
I told you, Lance Russell, that I got to have some recognition around here. I'm not on the card at all this week, but I guarantee you, nobody's going to stop me from being down there whenever they have the matches. Nobody's going to stop me. You understand that? Nobody.
But
that's right. Randy Hale.
We're taking a break right now. We're taking a break. Now, that's the kind of thing that ends up getting people where they don't want to even see out here. Coming in at 322 pounds out of Amarillo, Texas.
You see this belt around my waist right now? You hold that. You see this belt around my waist right now? That means that I am the USWA champion. I have beaten everyone for it, and I deserve that unified title. So, Jeff Jarrett, get ready, boy, because I'm coming after you.
USWA heavyweight champion, here is Tex Schlesinger. And in his corner, Scott Bowden. His opponent today, coming in at 234 pounds, out of Lexington, Tennessee, Dangerous Doug Gilbert. 1 fall, 10 minutes for our next bout on USWA Championship Wrestling. Bill Rush, the official referee, over to Lance and Dave. Let's do it, fellas.
Always bad enough, Dave, when Schlesinger's in there with that cowbell on the end of that big, long bull rope. Makes it double dangerous when Scott Bowden is over in the corner.
There's no doubt about it. Schlesinger not passing that rope and cowbell out of the ring to Scott Bowden either, just the bell. Let's get that thing out of there and get it underway.
Champions here in the USWA. I got the World Tag Team Champion, I got the USWA Heavyweight Champion, and I got the Rock and Roll Express.
That means you weaseled your way into a lot of places in a hurry, Scott Bowden.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some of those stories that you told in order to get signed on as manager with all of those folks. This is a guy who used to be USWA heavyweight champion, Doug Gilbert. He would just as soon take the belt back as soon as he can, too, and a win against Schlesinger here today would certainly put him in line for the championship match.
Texas got me out here today because I know everything about Doug Gilbert because I used to manage him, you understand? Without me, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert would be lucky to find their way to the arena. You know what I'm saying, Dave Brown? I managed him so well. You know why? Because I'm majoring in child psychology at Florida State University. That's how I had them under control.
Well, I guess Doug got lucky today because he found his way to the ring without any trouble, and he came in, looked like he was ready to wrestle when he got here, too.
Schlesinger takes the right hand from Dangerous Doug as Gilbert is in there with one mean hombre, as they say down in Amarillo, which is the home of Tex Schlesinger. Says he lives right down the road from the Double Cross Ranch. For those of you who do not know, that's the home of the Funks. Terry Funk's Double Cross Ranch. Big right hand, the whip goes to the rope, and Doug went over for the backdrop, and all he got was a mouthful of leather.
Big Tex Schlesinger, he's got some moves. He comes out, he's huge, and you know, you think, well, maybe the guy can't wrestle, maybe he's just big and just sort of lumbers around. He is big, but he's got some moves, too, and he won that USWA heavyweight title and has been able to hold on to it pretty consistently since he's been around.
Doug has made 3 very nice comebacks after Schlesinger has hammered him down in various ways, but he just can't sustain it. Schlesinger's been able to cut him off at the pass on every kind of attempt to get an offensive effort going. Doug now climbing back up to one knee. Schlesinger holding on to that arm bar as referee Bill Rush checking to see, grabs the hair. Doug doesn't have a whole lot up there to grab, but he's still keeping an eye on it. Schlesinger hanging on to Gilbert, moves him into the ropes. A reversal by Doug. In the air, and the reverse atomic knee.
Wow, Doug put the move on him. That's difficult with a guy as big as Schlesinger. He's got him on the mat. He picks him up. Dangerous Doug Gilbert asking the crowd about it. They say, yeah, pop him down there. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Nope, got a foot up on the rope. Scott Bowden points it out to the referee, and the referee stopped the count at 2. Gilbert trying it again. He covers. 1, 2, again. With a little help from Scott Bowden, Schlesinger gets a foot on the rope, and the count stops at 2. Gilbert slamming Tex Schlesinger's head into the turnbuckle. Ooh, the referee gets nailed on the backswing here. Gilbert, whoa, pile driver he puts on him.
While the referee's down, Doug pile drives him right into the mat. He's waiting for a count. He better wait for a while.
Oh, look out,
Bowden almost caught on the ring apron, Dave.
Gilbert almost got him. He's out of the ring after him. Not a wise move by Doug. He should be trying to get the referee. Oh, down to the mat again goes Schlesinger. There's a cover. Referee still down. Look out. Tracy Smothers jumps into the ring with that flag, and he smacks Doug Gilbert with it. That's going to end the match right there. Disqualification. Scott.
We're taking out the trash today. We're taking out the trash.
Yeah, well, maybe, maybe not. Doug Gilbert double teamed by Tex Schlesinger. Tracy Smothers triple teamed now by Bowden. Here comes PG-13 in. And all of a sudden, Tracy Smothers, Tex Schlesinger, and Scott Bowden head somewhere else. Doug Gilbert ambushed by Tracy Smothers. And the match is going to end on disqualification. Doug is going to win it that way, not the way he likes to win matches. PG-13 there watching. Yeah, well, we see that.
Came in. Smothers is what did it.
Yeah, we saw how many people it took to do that, too, Schlesinger. It wasn't a one-on-one situation. You got
ring got very busy, Dave, right there at the moment when it had first it was Bowden who didn't belong in there. Then came Smothers along with that ever-present flagpole. And following that, PG came in to give Doug a little help. And Doug Gilbert ends up winning it by disqualification, but he had ideas of a better win than that, than a disqualification when he got interfered with.
You know what, Lance Russell? I can't come out here and say that that belt that Tex Schlesinger wore out of here, I've wore it on 6 different occasions. I can come out here and see PG-13, the little boys from the hood that are the big dogs. Woof, woof. They come out here and they say that they do run things. Well, boys,
you must have lost your minds because you remember back when Wildfire Tommy Rich was here all the time with Dangerous Doug Gilbert. Now, whether people like this or not, we did run things. And Jesse James Armstrong and Tracy Smothers, you've run roughshod around here just about long enough. So you heard what Tommy Rich had to say. He said there's going to be hell to pay. And, boys, I think you know who's going to be paying.
Doug Gilbert fired up against everyone. He's glad his partner Tommy Rich is back. We'll take time out. Be back in a moment. Boy, I'll tell you, I think one of the most intriguing things in the USWA right now is the presence of two young lions. Jeff Jarrett, holder of the unified title, and too sexy Brian Christopher. They got a history.
Yeah, they do, and it doesn't have to do with the unified title, which is where they are right now. That's what's on the line. But the USWA heavyweight title, both of them former holders of it, and from time to time they would come together with that belt on the line, and it was something else. We got some highlights of some of that action. Take a look, just sort of refresh your memory. Watch Mr. Christopher leave now as Jeff Jarrett arrives in the ring. Oh, well, maybe not. He invites him over here.
Yeah, he said, yeah, come on.
Jeff is scheduled against a different opponent here today. But if Brian wants to stay and fight, we'll show it. Oh, yeah, come on and hit me, he says.
What's this all about? What's this all about, Dave Brown?
Well, I'll tell you what it's all about. You advised him to stay out here and show off, and sometimes when you take shortcuts, you get lost. And I think maybe the shortcut didn't work out this time for Brian Christopher.
Yeah. Well, I see Jeff Jarrett wanted to get his face on camera today.
Jeff Jarrett's got a match scheduled. He's supposed to be here. He's not worth his time, says Brian Christopher. That
Tosses it down. He's got him covered, but there's no referee to count him. Oh, boy. Christopher with another chain, and boy, just interferes in this.
And did you hear Jeff Jarrett out here? He's mad. Oh, Jeff Jarrett's mad. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Let me hide. I'm so scared of you, Jeff Jarrett. Oh, I'm so scared, Jeff.
These guys have been battling since it started just like this. Going toe-to-toe against each other. Christopher on his feet with a right fist as Jeff stands up. He's still standing as Christopher continues to hit him.
Yeah.
He returns fire.
Yeah, fight back now. Blops again, a right hand from Christopher. Comes off the rope. Busts Christopher with a right hand. Sends him down. Jeff Jarrett comes off. Oh, look at Steve Dog. I don't know if they got a camera shot of it or not. What? Oh, boy. Steve Dog out here tripped up Jeff Jarrett. Jeff fell face first to the mat, and Christopher pinned him up 1, 2, 3, but interference from Steve Dahl. That didn't look good when they were out here.
Steve Dahl tripped up Jeff Jarrett, and now Brian Christopher being treated as a hero over here after getting the 3 count, and the referee, Kevin Christian, picks up the Southern title, hands it to Brian Christopher. The referee didn't see what happened.
No, he didn't.
Because now you have got to step in there with a real man. A real man. And I'm talking man with a capital M. That's me. M-A-N. You look up man in the dictionary, there's a big picture of Brian Christopher right beside the definition. And that's
Christopher out. Oh! He calls out Brian Christopher. 1, 2, he got it!
Look out. Christopher. Oh, watch it. He's got that poem that Jeff read out here in his hand, as if you hadn't done. Oh.
Look, Dave. How do you like this poem now, Dave? Look at here. Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jack. You're a loser, boy. You're a loser, and I hate you. Your whole stinking family are losers. Your dad never won the belt. You'll never win the belt. It's going to stay right here, punk. You're a loser. I hate you. I hate you.
It's going to be a while before he gets to the caliber of Jeff Jarrett.
Speaking of Jeff Jarrett, look at this.
Look at Jeff Jarrett come in. Goes out to Brian Christopher. Mike Temples gets in there. He takes Temples down. Boy, look at Jeff go. He goes to work on Christopher. Down on Brian Christopher. He's a madman in there.
Oh, they got
that bandage around his head. Here comes the Masters of Terror. Jeff clears them all out of there.
And Brian Christopher, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm never going to quit, and I'm never going to give up till I win that Southern Heavyweight title.
Rivers said, hey, he doesn't have the chain. Well, Christopher, he doesn't have a chain. Oh, he finally gets the chain out. And Jarrett pulls the chain out of his own. Now it's Christopher. He got it. Yes, sir. We got a climbs up on the top rope. Oh, comes down with the splash and misses. Jeff Jarrett gets out of the way. Boy, look at Jeff climb the ropes. He's up on the top rope. Christopher turns around. He catches him with a flying press. Hey, but there's no one to do the 1, 2, 3 count in there. Paul finally staggers up a little. And Zeke Rivers jumps in with that cane on Jeff Jarrett. He clobbers Jeff with that cane in there. Caught him right across the head. Christopher, 2. Whoa, Jeff up at 2. And Zeke Rivers thought it was done after jumping in and interfering in the bout. Christopher nails away at Jack. Look at Zeke Rivers. Hey, Christopher had a chain, but Jared grabs the chain from him. Jeff's up on the middle ropes over there. He clobbers Christopher, sends him down. Referee Paul Neighbors over to do the count. 2. Oh, boy. Christopher kicks out at 2. Woo! This one has had you. Well, I don't know, fans. If you were here tonight at the Coliseum, you'd be on the edge of your seats this whole bout. It's been a great one between Christopher and Jeff. Jeff sets Christopher up. Look at Zeke Rivers. Grabs that chain, hooks Jeff's boot with it. He thought he had a pin. He got it. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Jeff gets the win. Oh, look at this one, Jeff. Christopher went to get Jeff Jarrett a high five in there and jumped on Jeff. Oh, what in the world? Man, let me tell you, this finds Christopher something else. He and Jarrett worked together well in there against King and Doll. Looked to be a good tag team, and all of a sudden he jumps on Jeff Jarrett.
Sometimes guys like Double J Jeff Jarrett have a different turn in their career. Brian Christopher has a different turn in his career, and you tend to forget some of the battles like that occurred. We'll be back in just a moment. Going on in the USWA, and from time to time we like to share some of that action with you, so why don't we do that right now?
I think it's a good idea.
Too long. Nobody in the world can do it any better than the fabulous Jackie Fargo, as we've learned 1,000 times before. He's a great one, often imitated, but I will guarantee you never duplicated the fabulous Jackie Fargo. Let's hear it! Jackie, there isn't but one guy that can come up here and live up to all of the things that have been said about you.
You're the man who does it with grace, and you do it so easy. You got that easy smile, but boy, when it came to getting tough, you could do it like nobody else. We're delighted to have you here in Louisville for this night to remember, and you've made many a night that we remember.
Thank you. Thank you. A life dream for me has come true. If no one like myself could accept this from such great fans, I've never been lost for words, but I'm just about to cry. I don't mind telling you. I love you very much. What a great honor to come to a wonderful city like Louisville, have such distinguished people around me. I don't deserve it, but I certainly thank you. I had a dream as a little boy to be a professional wrestler. I didn't go out and get to play football and basketball, but I worked hard. And with your help and the love of God, I give God a lot of credit. He did it for me. I'll never forget you as long as I live. I love every one of you, and thank you so much for a great honor. Thank you.
What about the King and Joe LeDuc? Lance was giving you the history just a moment ago of these two guys. A bunch of it to give. We don't even have all the time to give you the complete history of Lawler and LeDuc. Lance doing a great job and just trying to fill you in on some of it. The strap comes down, and LeDuc remembers that, I bet you. When the King pulls that strap down, look out. 5 minutes gone now. 5 minute call being made by ring announcer Dean Hill. Lawler picks up LeDuc. Big body slam on the French-Canadian lumberjack. The King up on a mellow road. He caught Joe LeDuc. Covers him 1, 2. Whoa, my goodness. And LeDuc threw him just like a sack of potatoes, Lance.
I mean, flipped him up in the air. And look out now, Lawler. Oh, man. LeDuc storms across the ring. Wild look in his eye. Hammering at Lawler right above us. Referee Bill Rush trying to get him out of there. And now he is picked up. That may end the match right there. He just slammed the referee down on the floor. And LeDuc comes back over and again knocks the referee down. Lawler ducks under Joe. Goes over to see that Bill Rush is okay, because LeDuc not only slammed him down, and that's going to be a disqualification for him. And the winner, and still the unified champion, Jerry the King Lawler. Underway, what I'm talking about, the best of Louisville Battle Royal. We got a bunch of them in there. Handsome Jimmy, Joe LeDuc battling away at each other. We've got Big Bullet Bob Armstrong, Buddy Landell, Brian Christopher. Right now with a foot down on Wildfire Tommy Rich's neck. And they are going at it, Torrey.
They sure are, Lancer. It is a wild one. The best of Louisville taking place tonight in the 25th silver anniversary of the best of Louisville. Out on the ring apron is LeDuc. Doug Gilbert taking advantage of Jerry the King Lawler. 1, 2, 3, and Bill Hickerson pinned and will be eliminated from the best of Louisville.
And the 1, 2, 3 applies. So Bill is out of action.
Bill Hickerson eliminated.
John Dean, Tommy Rich,
Lawler after Joe LeDuc.
Brian Christopher.
Out on the ring apron there.
Brian Christopher at the throat. of Doug Gilbert. Dundee with the arm.
Lawler and LeDuc still fighting now. Joe LeDuc grabs the king.
LeDuc and Lawler both on the floor.
He's got Jerry out on the floor. Slams him hard right into that steel cage at ringside. Whoa! Big right hand from the big Canadian lumberjack. Christopher Jack cover. 1, 2, 3. 4.
The referee said 1 and 2 and 3.
Doug Gilbert eliminated. Look out, D. Jerry Lawler's got Joe LeDuc. Dundee came over to help out Lawler. And LeDuc grabbed both of them by the throat. They're out in the back area now of the Garden. Here in Louisville. Morrell counting in the ring. He's counted to 10, and that's gonna do it for LeDuc, Lawler, and Dundee. They're all eliminated in this ring. Joe LeDuc, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee all get the 10 count, and they are eliminated. Lawler, Dundee, and LeDuc eliminated.
So we are down to the final 2 in the best of Louisville. Wildfire Tommy Rich, who's happily strutting around, while the other participant, Too Sexy Brian Christopher, 1, 2, and Christopher kicks his way out. That's Gilbert leading the cheers as Christopher whipped into the rope as he comes off. Tommy Rich catches him with a clothesline, and now it's Christopher trying to battle his way back. Brian pounds him with a right. Look at him go after it. Brian Christopher on a whip. Tommy Rich, backdrop. Christopher follows in behind. There's that hysterical laugh that Brian precedes a big right hand with. Rich turning Christopher around. Pounds him into the turnbuckle. Remember, it's over the top rope or a pin. Rich with his feet on the ropes, and referee Frank Burrell says no. Break it up. He caught him with the feet on the rope. Here comes Brian Christopher from behind. 1, 2, 3. The winner and the best of Louisville, Brian Christopher. We're ready now for our main event today on USWA Championship Wrestling. First introducing out of Springfield, Tennessee, at 243 pounds, here is Tracy Smothers. And in his corner, Scott Bowden. His opponent coming in at 223 pounds, out of Memphis, Tennessee, Too Sexy Brian Christopher. This is our main event today on USWA Wrestling. Bill Rush is referee. Over to my buddies, Lance and Dave. Well, just a second, guys.
PG-13, you couldn't beat the Thugs. Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, you're a couple of backfighters. You come out, want to break bad and be Santa Claus. Well, this week, you're finished, guys. You've been USWA Tag Team Champions many times, but the ball game's over, man. Freddie Bruce and Hank Aaron used to hit home runs, but now the Thugs are what's going on, man. That's what I'm talking about.
On his way to the ring now, Too Sexy Brian Christopher for our main event. This one will be a good one. Let's do it, guys.
Look out, Tracy Smothers jumped out of the ring and attacks Brian as he's greeting the fans on his way to the ring. Throws him into the steps over at ringside. Smothers attacking Brian before the match gets underway. Was that your idea, Mr. Bowden?
Of course, I'm the brains behind the brawl. Look at Too Sleazy Brian Christopher right now. He doesn't look too sexy now, does he, Dave?
Count of 2, you know. One advantage Tracy's got here. Brian is looking toward the unified title match with Jeff Jarrett. He's been concentrating on that. And that's kind of tough here. Oh, my goodness.
Jerry Lawler apparently has not learned his lesson. He has now learned that Scott Bowden is not a man to be messed with here in the USWA. You know, I tried to remind him of that last week by taking a little bat practice on that gift leg of his, but I'm going to show him this week that rich boys can get rough too.
Yeah. Attacked him without warning is what he did. I don't think Jerry will let him slip up on him again like that, though.
Christopher trying to fight his way out of the corner. Tracy Smothers, with that early attack before the bout got going, has dominated all of it. And right now, he retaliates after Christopher had some good shots. Leg on the rope, 1, 2, and the referee said, get it off, I saw it. And Brian Christopher in some real trouble. There's a whip. Out of the way goes Christopher. Smothers pounds into the turnbuckle. And the whip. Beautiful drop kick by Christopher. Whoa, he can get up in the air and really fire it. Hammers with the right hand. Time cranking down. Out of time. Brian, the time's up, Brian. Time is up. As Brian Christopher and Tracy Smothers end up with a time limit run out. We'll be back in just a moment. What a spectacular. I loved it today. I'm sorry we didn't have enough time for everything that we wanted to, but we got in some goodies today.
There's always so much USWA action. It's hard to fit it all into the time that's allotted.
Let's remember a happy holidays to everybody out there. Thanks for being with us. Look for you next week. And until that time, for Dave Brown, Corey Macklin, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.
I believe they're ready.
I think you're right.
Son of a gun, I tell you what, we're ready too. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell with Dave Brown and Corey Macklin, and we got one jam-packed. As a matter of fact, Dave, we got so much stuff going. Why don't we start?
Let's do it.
Now.
Let's get it going.
Let's go to Corey and see what he's got to offer.
Okay, we're ready for tag team action here today on USWA Championship Wrestling. 1 fall, 10 minutes in time. First introducing at a combined weight, 391 pounds, out of Morristown, New Jersey, Tony Myers, and his partner out of Memphis, Tennessee, Kid Reaper. Their opponent today coming in at a combined weight of 473 pounds. They are the USWA Tag Team Champions, Tommy Wildfire Rich and Dangerous Doug Gilbert. Rich and Gilbert, Bill Rice is the official referee, and we are ready for action on our opening over to Lance Russell.
Okay, Corey, we are in fact ready for it. We've got Rich and Gilbert going against Raper and a young fella, Tony Myers, who will be making his first appearance in here that I'm familiar with. Corey, I don't know whether you've seen Tony Myers or not. I haven't seen him before. How about the bell?
Seen him a time or two here on USWA Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doug Gilbert opening up for the tag team champions. And that tag situation is kind of an interesting deal as we ended up with Doug and Tommy Rich winning. Whoa, took him right down with that hard DDT, and he popped him right off that side hip and drove him down hard. They won the title from Armstrong and Smothers, and they've had challenges from the Rock and Roll Express. Of course, Armstrong and Smothers want a rematch. PG-13, we've got an interesting situation we're going to be talking about a little bit later on that involves PG and Rich and Gilbert. And we remember very well, within the last year, one of the most rugged of all of the rugged tag matches was when PG-13 and Rich and Gilbert were going at it.
Yeah,
we got a lot
right.
to talk about.
Whoa, little make-a-wish for Tony Myers. I don't know if it's the wish you wanted, though, for Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, the USWA Tag Champions. Gilbert drags over Myers over in that corner. Uh-oh, there'll be a little trouble for Mr. Myers. Rams that leg into the ring post, man.
Mentioning tag team action, we've got a round-robin tournament that's going to provide a challenger for the WWF title holders, the Smoking Guns, and we'll have more about that later on. Gilbert drops down with that knee right on the inner thigh of Tony Myers, wrapping him up into a figure four. Could be it right here and now. Myers caught in one that can really put some stress and strain on you. At count of 1, 2, and he gets his shoulder up.
Just barely, he does. Tony Myers has been unsuccessful and then get an attack on his partner, Ken Raper. It's been all Myers against the tag team champions, and sooner or later it's going to bring a big wear and tear on Mr. Myers in there. Look at Rich dropping down on that leg.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They say that, you know, a young wrestler starting out, it's a learning experience. And that's a tough lesson to learn when you get in there with a couple of veterans like Gilbert and Rich, and you're facing it. He can't get a tag out. They won't let him loose, and that's going to be it. He gets it up on the figure four, second time around, and so the winners are going to be Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert as they successfully take Raper and Myers, and Raper never officially got in.
Never got in, and Doug holding on to that figure four leg lock. Tell you what we better do. Maybe we can get him to break that thing. Let's take a break.
While we take a break, we'll see if we can get him to break that figure four leg lock. Be back in a moment. We mentioned a little bit earlier, Dave, about a round-robin tournament that's going to be coming up, and I think one of the most interesting thing in the world is the pairings. It will involve 4 tag teams, and there will be preliminary matches. Those 2 winners face each other for the right to go ahead and face the WWF champions, the Smoking Guns. The pairings are like this. Rock and Roll Express against Tracy Smothers and Jesse James Armstrong. Yep. And in the other first-round match, PG-13 against Tommy Gilbert and, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert. Boy, I got to tell you, that's going to be a couple right then and there.
Yeah, I saw the card and I thought, wait a minute, is that a mistake? And then I realized what all had happened here in these previous matches, and I understand now. It's going to be interesting.
And you know, this will not be the first time that PG-13 has ever gotten in the ring with Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert.
That's true.
They had, as we mentioned earlier, within the last year, they had one session going, and they didn't like each other at all. Let's take a look at some of that history action.
On Doug Gilbert and JC on Tommy Rich. Tommy went to his trunks and nailed JC. Yeah, he did. Count of 1, 2, 3, got it. 12 minutes, 24 seconds. We didn't get a good look. The TV cameras caught it, I'm sure. The new champ, Doug Gilbert, and Wildfire, Tommy Rich. This could be bad news. Oh! Scott Bowden misses. He caught Tommy Rich. with the mark from out. He got it! Yes, sir, Bob! Right it down! PG-13!
In the hood, you think you're real.
Look out, David. PG-13 had all they could stand. And here they are, out here jumping on Gilbert and Rich, who had been out totally out of order, running their mouth in a direction they shouldn't have been. And now we're trying to get this brawl broken up. Randy Hale's out.
Randy's calling for more help if there's anybody watching a monitor.
Tony Williams out.
Handed him his suitcase, but nope, the match continues. JC Isdale's bobbed over on the apron.
Rich hit JC. He's got him covered. 1, 2, 3. And the winner and new tag champion, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert.
Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, we beat you.
What is this? We're going to need some help out here. Wolfie D dropped down on the desk as Rich. What in the world are they doing now?
They're putting something in Wolfie's eyes. What is that,
Tommy Rich. Hey, come on, Tommy. My Wolfie. And Tommy Rich jammed into mid-section. 14 minutes, 45 seconds. Wolfie D with that ball bat. Oh. Wolfie, who had his eye just hammered on. Now, winds up with that bat. JC holding it, and he ground Tommy's arm. As they've got JC Ice up on the table. And it is counted.
Headed this way right now, Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich. Some of the battles that have gone on. These guys have the USWA tag team titles around their waist. Doug Gilbert.
We've been in some battles, haven't we, Dave?
Yeah, you have, no doubt.
You know what, Dave Brown? The battles that we have endured, we have always come out champions. And what I want to be is a champion. Dave Brown, Tommy Rich can tell you, I think all these people over here can tell you, I love belts. I love belts so much. I love belts more than I do anything else in the world. All I want is belts, belts, belts. Now, see what it is, Dave Brown. Around here, things get a little biased every once in a while. Now, see, since these people over here seem to like myself and Wildfire Tommy Rich, I mean, you stand through there and see, right, Dave Brown? You're a smart man, no doubt about that, right? Since they like myself and Tommy Rich now, that Randy Hale, see, you know, he protects PG-13. You know that Jamie Dundee's under one wing, that Whoopie D's on the other. Or better yet, that Whoopie D's in the passenger seat when Randy Hales is driving so he can be protected. But boys, we won't go any further than that because like you just saw, things just about did get out of hand. But like I told Wildfire Tommy Rich, it's better to let bygones be bygones and us remain the USWA Tag Team Champions. Right, Tommy?
What? You know what? You know the bottom line is when Dangerous Doug and myself get together, when we're bad, we're real bad. And when we're good, we're real good. You know, a sad thing happened. Jamie Dundee thinks I hit him on purpose. Well, in the heat of the thing, Dangerous Doug and myself, for all these people, we come in here for one reason. That's to get the people behind us and wrestle anybody that got in the way. And ain't nobody stopping us. You know, Jamie Dundee, Wolfie D, y'all are tough. We had a run in a long time ago. It didn't do you no good then. And with all these people behind us, it ain't going to do them no good now.
Well, Tracy.
Give me that microphone. What's this stuff, man? We sat back there, hey, look at me, and we watched a 5-minute video of y'all and PG-13, Wolfie D, JC Ice, Tommy Rich, Doug Gilbert. Everybody forgot about the greatest team that's ever been, and that's the Thugs. Hey, we're going through y'all, we're going through PG-13, and we're going through the Rock and Roll Express, and then we're going to whoop the pop guns. You guys are finished, man. We're sick of all of it.
You gotta get through Rock and Roll Express, and here are a couple of guys who are going to be looking at y'all.
Hold up just a second. We were the baddest champions to ever walk around here. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. We're the guys that need to be holding those belts. And you need to give us a shot, Doug Gilbert.
The last time we had a run-in with you two, you wound up beat, battered, and bald, didn't you, boys?
I don't know nothing about that, Doug Gilbert. You got pretty hurt yourself, and so did he. I don't know what y'all are talking about, man. We are the cats, man. We're the ones that need to have their belts. You know, while we're at it, let's just clear everything up right now, Doug Gilbert. Tommy Wildfire Rich last week, man, 4 guys were beating your brains out all over the building, and JC Ice and Wolfie D come to the aid of Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert once again. And in the heat of the passion, you're right, I did punch you. And it was in the heat of the passion. I didn't know it was you. And if I didn't know it was you, it wouldn't have happened that way. But then when you came back, you intentionally punched JC Ice. And I believe that.
You wasn't big enough to hold the boy that you was holding. He ducked out of your way, and I hit you. The way I see it, it was your fault.
Don't put your fingers on me again, Red, and get your finger out of my face. You tell your partner that he does, you know. You tell your partner to jump back off his high horse, man.
Well, you hold on just one second. I will tell him. Tommy, he did come down to help.
That's right.
That is right, right?
That's right.
But it's just like Tommy Rich said, Wolfie D. When he come down, JC Ice was holding the man, and he ducked out of the way, and that's the reason Tommy Rich hit you.
That's your fault, big boy, because you wasn't big enough to hold him, I think. I'm big enough to hold my own, man.
Maybe, Tommy, maybe you're just so stupid you don't know how to aim a punch or something. Can you not punch right or something? You know how stupid we are? Is we're so stupid that we're the USWA Tag Team Champions, and if you've got a problem with that,
get that finger out of my face.
I'll get out of your face.
Get yourself.
Well, they're going at each other. All right, bring some more air. Yeah, here comes some folks out to break them up.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They just can't forget all the things that happened in the past, Dave. No doubt about it.
Well, the bad blood comes back, even though it was an accident this past time. They remember what happened in the past, so it's hard to consider it an accident, I guess, in their mind. Boy, we got them all over the Corey, and Corey's got Doug Gilbert backed out of the action. They've got, well, here's Doug jumping back in after Wolfie.
JC won't let it go. He jumps right back in on Gilbert. And Rich being held out by 3 of them. And look at Wolfie D going back after Rich. This was not our main event. Let's take a break, Dave, and let's see if we can get this thing down. Come on. Let's take a break, Dave.
Come on, Doug. Come on. Oh.
Last week, we had an incident that took place with Koko B. Ware returning to the USWA.
Yeah, he's been back a couple of weeks complaining and causing problems since he's been here.
Attitude problem, you know, and son of a gun, we've known Koko a long time, but he just feels like he hadn't been getting a fair shake. Well, I'll tell you, he didn't give a fair shake. Take a look and see what happened with Koko B. Ware and Brian Christopher when Brian was out here. As he is pounding, oh, here comes Koko B. Ware. He grabs a hold of Christopher, runs him right flat into the desk. Yeah, ring the bell. I wouldn't get near it. I wouldn't touch it. Imagine the bell just rang. And Koko Ware is pounding Christopher's head down on the desk. Brian jumped from behind as he was slugging it out with Tracy Smothers over in the crowd, and Koko got him from behind. Here comes Randy Hales. trying to separate him off of Christopher. As referee Bill Rush was able to get hold of an arm for a moment. We're going to check.
Well, Koko B. Ware, as we said, been around a couple of weeks now, and it's been a problem both times when we've seen him. That episode you just saw. And the week before that, Koko came out here. He was complaining that nobody was paying any attention to him. Jumps a couple of young guys. One of them's in the ring right now, the Yellow Jacket. The other one, Tony Williams. And Koko, you're here, but I don't know about the attitude that you've been displaying so far.
Shut up, Dave Brown. I got a whole lot I got to say. You see, ever since I've been here, I told everybody what I was gonna do, and I did it. I shaved that big old goose head. I saved Randy hell's butt. Well, you see now, Brian Christopher, you see, I didn't finish the job where I started, Brian Christopher. I will finish the job. I guarantee you. So you better get out while you got a chance, Brian Christopher, because I'm telling you, I didn't come in the USWA to help somebody. I come here to hurt somebody. Oh, yeah! And now I'm going to make an example out of this Yellow Jacket. He's going to be carried out on a stretcher. So, Brian Christopher, you done bit off more you can chew. So, brother, get yourself in order, because when the Birdman see you again, you're going to be history.
Koko B. Ware headed to the ring right now. He's got a match against the Yellow Jacket coming up. Official introductions for this one. Here's Corey Macklin.
Okay, Dave, here we go with action. One fall, 10 minutes in time. First introducing 190 pounds out of parts unknown, the Yellow Jacket. And his opponent, 30 pounds from the great state of Tennessee, Koko B. Ware. Over to Lance and Dave.
Koko just couldn't wait. He ran right by Corey on the introductions and attacked the Yellow Jacket.
Last time that they got together, Yellow Jacket came out and was injured in the match, and he indicated he wanted another crack at Koko. I'm not sure that was the smartest thing ever. Boy, look at that Koko B. Ware go. This guy's an athlete, no question. 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
Ooh, just a matter of fact, look at that look on that face right there. All he's focused on is getting the count of 1, 2, 3, and then looking down the road to find Brian Christopher, who he's also got a problem with. Now, the match is over. Come on. Bill Rush trying to get it broken up. There comes some help. Koko didn't take kindly to that, I'm afraid. No, he didn't. Boy.
That was not the way to get Koko's attention. Strange bird buster, as Koko now calls it. Drops him straight down, and I mean to tell you, here's a guy who came in simply trying to help the Yellow Jacket out, and ended up making an ill-advised pop on Koko's back. Koko B. Ware. And he ended up with a victory and ended up also not endearing himself to anybody.
They're always trying to jump me from behind. He must be working for Brian Christopher. But Christopher, you're mine!
Well, we'll find out about that later on. We do
have matches, Dave.
Do have the match scheduled. Brian Christopher, in spite of what Koko says, tell him take this opportunity to get out and all that sort of stuff. Brian Christopher's not going to back up from him or anybody else. No doubt about it. That match coming up a little bit later. We tell you what we need to do right here. Do we need to just continue?
Take a break, I think.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a technical problem with some of the equipment, so let's see. Maybe let's go ahead and talk about what's going on out of town.
You ready for a break?
Now,
you got it.
Now it's working.
We'll be back in
We'll be
just a
back.
moment. Okay, Corey had to get ready for our next bout in there, and I'll tell you what we will do. I guess I didn't say all I had to say about that Southern heavyweight belt, and I do want to have the opportunity to tell you right now that this is the son of a gun that You know, Lawler hates hair matches above all,
yeah.
and I don't blame him. I mean, those son of guns, he's lost his hair, and he knows what it can do.
Well,
But
he also knows that the more times you go to the well, the more times you put the hair on the line, your odds of losing your hair go up, and he doesn't like to do that.
And all of that has to tie in with the fact, as much as he hates hair matches, he loves this more. Scott Bowden is well aware of the fact of the kind of the history that Jerry respects and the things that it meant to him, and he knows what this belt means to Jerry. And so he decided what he would do was say, okay, we'll give you a return match for the USWA heavyweight title. But what you're going to have to do is put up that Southern heavyweight belt. And that, my friend, is something that took a long decision before the King ever decided to do it. He took a long time before he ever had his first hair match, and believe me, he took a long, here comes Scott Bowden out here right now. And I'm sure in his long history, he's got some things that are sentimental to him, but I doubt it.
Lance Russell, I'm in a particularly foul mood today because you see, Jerry Lawler tried to take my most prized possession from me. He threw a fireball at my face. I've missed photo shoots at John Casablanca Modeling Institute all week. Jerry Lawler, you've cost me a lot of money. But that's okay, baby, because I go through money like Downtown Bruto goes through a cheap six-pack of beer. You understand what I'm saying? This week, though, I'm coming after your most prized possession. This old hunk of tin, this Southern heavyweight title.
Let me hold.
Now, Lance Russell, I know this belt means a lot to you because you have a lot in common with this belt, Lance Russell.
I've seen a lot of that.
You're both old and worthless. This belt is nothing but a piece of junk. This is 1996, not 1956. The only belt that means anything today is the USWA heavyweight title. And who holds that? Tex Schlesinger and Scott Bowden. We are co-holders of that USWA heavyweight title. And this week, I have started... Shut up! This week, I have started Operation White Trash. I'm going to have a trash can down there this week, and this belt is going to go right in it.
Well, get your hands off of it.
Oh, you talk about the history. I felt like I was in history class back in college. Henry Harrell, Tex Riley, Tojo Yamamoto. All those guys are dead right now. Who cares about the past? I hate the past. Oh, listen. Oh, I'm sure you do, Lance.
Jerry Lawler.
Oh, I'm sure you're tearing up right now. Jackie Fargo, he's off in alcohol rehab right now. Doesn't it, Jerry Lawler? The only reason they had to make a new one is because this one couldn't go around your waist anymore. Let me tell you something, Lawler. I'm taking this belt from you, me and Tex Schlesinger. I'm putting it in a garbage can. I'm taking it out to the Germantown dump, and you're never going to see that belt again, Lawler. And if I have my way, we're never going to see Jerry Lawler again. How about that?
You're not taking it right now, I'll tell you that.
Take my face from me, Lance.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you one thing. You're going to wish you hadn't ever brought this belt up when you get Lawler involved.
Oh, okay, Dad. Okay, Dad. I guess you know everything you're talking about. This belt.
Will you get your hands off that belt? You haven't won.
Keep it away.
Get out. Will you get out of here, Scott?
I'm going to own it after this week.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to do it in the ring. It's certainly not going to be something with that big mouth of yours. Let's go to Corey.
Okay, Lance. Boy, that battle is something. We're ready for action now. One fall, a 10-minute time limit. First introducing 187 pounds, wrestling out of Millington, Tennessee. Here is Charlie Laird. And his opponent on his way to the ring area now. The current holder of the USWA heavyweight title, coming in at a weight of 320 pounds. Out of Amarillo, Texas, here is Tex Schlesinger with Scott Bowden in his corner. One fall, 10 minutes in time. The official referee is referee Bill Rush, and we'll go over now to Lance Russell and Dave Brown. Over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Corey. Well, the USWA Heavyweight Championship belt is over here. That belt does mean something, but it's not the only one that means something, Scott Bowden.
Well, I tell you, it's just attitudes like his Bowden's got that can get me so irritated.
Hey, Lance, shut up, okay? This is nothing but a tune-up right here. I got my trash can. We made, what's this guy named Charlie Lord? We're going to put him in the trash can today.
It's Charlie Laird, and don't you have someone else, somewhere else you need to be right now.
Yeah, like I tell you, there's a good pair right over there. Scott Bowden in a trash can. Down on the mat goes the big Tex. The champion is caught down in a short arm scissors with Charlie Laird. Bill Rush Down to check the shoulders as Laird handling the big guy pretty good. And how's he get out of it? Rakes him right in the eyes. Nice wrestling move, Tex.
Hey, Bowden off kick back over at ringside. Got his feet up on the apron. Celebrating every move by Tex Slazenger. Isn't it amazing how Bowden can all of a sudden sign on with these guys who, after these guys are already a championship, then all of a sudden Bowden decides, hey, I think I'll be your manager. Huh?
Yeah, you hear him say, we are co-holders of the belt? What in the world? Well, of course, I'll admit, he does get his nose involved into things and can sway a match one way or the other, but he certainly doesn't have any part of that belt other than he happens to be representing Tex Slazenger right now. Charlie Laird. Ooh, put down hard. Slazenger covers him. That ought to be it right there. Slazenger, a big 300-pounder, and he covers Charlie Laird up with no problem at all. Charlie gave him a go at the beginning. All right, now what is it now? It's not enough you come out here and interfere and start all that kind of garbage you're talking about. You bring the trash can. Get it over with you. That fits for you.
Today, I'm officially kicking off Operation White Trash. I'm getting rid of all the garbage here in the USWA. And as you can see, I have a shiny silver trash can from Germantown. And you know why that is? Because every day the trash men come to Germantown, and they don't only take away the trash, they replace our garbage cans every single day. Because we don't like to see our trash get all rotten and smelling. And speaking of rotting and smelling, let's talk about downtown Bruno. Let's talk about the biggest piece of trash going.
Wait a minute. See, first of all, this is verbal. This is not physical. Now, you want to talk about trash, son? Look here. Everybody knows something. Germantown was famous for a baseball team, #1 in the whole country, right?
Famous for Scott Bowden, too, the home of Scott Bowden.
You know why that was? Because a bunch of punks like you that don't have to go out and pick up aluminum cans, don't have to get a job after school. All they do is practice baseball. See, they're a bunch of losers with no life, a bunch of white bread trash like you.
To me, sounds like winners to me.
Touch me again, I'll knock you out, son.
Oh, really?
You talk about a trash can match, you and me. Well, look.
You've seen one of these before because you're usually eating out of one.
Well, you know what?
I got news for you. You're going to be stuffed in one this week.
Be quiet.
Oh, be quiet.
Best
be
of
quiet.
luck.
You're going to make me.
I'll knock you in the head with this.
Do it.
Now, look. Everybody can see there's never been any trash in here. This is clean. This is something you went to a hardware store.
It's from Germantown.
Well, you know what? I want to show you something. This here trash can is from a trailer park in Walls, Mississippi. Now, look in here.
I don't doubt that.
See this? This is exactly where we're going to go. Well, you know what? You can call me white trash. You can call me filthy. But this is the filthiest trash can ever was. You're going to be in it, son. And you know why? Because I like being a dog. It's like Mama said. It feeds that way sometimes.
You guys settle your differences some other time. We got to take time out, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Come back.
Maybe I ought to use a microphone. What do you think? You know, Davey, we got a lot of response out of the old footage that we show, and we're talking in particular about that A Night to Remember tape that we ran, and we had a lot of people interested in knowing how they can get it. Well, son of a gun, hot, right off the press, is this little jewel right here.
Let me help you with that.
Yeah, okay, well. Look at here is the USWA catalog that is fresh off the press, and one of the 12 home videotapes offered is A Night to Remember. Right there is some great-looking stuff, and I'll guarantee you it'll be something you'll be proud to have. If you want a copy of the catalog, you can leave your name and address on the USWA hotline, 615-780-2947, or you can write to USWA Heat, 3120A Ridge Pike, Eaglesville, Pennsylvania, and that zip code is 19403. Take a MasterCard, Visa, have the toll-free number, the stuff to order, have your copy sent to you today.
One note, this is not a toll-free number that you call, but when you get your catalog, then there is a toll-free number from which you can order.
And we share that with you and let you have the opportunity to get that brand new catalog, call them, write them, whatever, Let's do it today. All right, let's go to Corey Macklin.
Okay, we're ready for the big main event today on USWA Championship Wrestling. Six-man tag team action. First introducing at a combined weight of 752 pounds out of parts unknown, Dark Death with Gene Paul and his partners. Out of Springfield, Tennessee, Tracy Smothers. And out of Marietta, Georgia, James Armstrong. Their opponent today in his six-man tag team action. A combined weight of 619 pounds. From the hood, JC Ice, Wolfie D, PG-13, and their partner out of Memphis, Tennessee, Too Sexy, Brian Christopher. Six-man tag team action coming up today on the USWA. Bill Rush is the referee as always. Over to Lance Russell. Let's do it.
Okay, Corey, we are ready to go with what ought to be a very good match. Glad we got it underway now with Armstrong and Smothers and Dark Death with King Pong at ringside. Bell time, who's going to be starting? Jesse James will be starting against one of PG-13, Wolfie or JC, because Brian doesn't have his jacket off yet. Now he does. And the bell was sounded, so I guess they're a little delayed getting going. Should be a dandy of a tag action. Do not know about Dark Death, but I can tell you that the other guys have stepped through the ropes a good many times, and this is going to be one that will let their expertise show. Wolfie D starting out against Tracy Smothers. And here's a couple of rounders that can flat get it on.
That's that right. We are looking for a dandy right here today on USWA Wrestling. Six-man tag team action.
Interestingly enough, Corey, both of these guys, Armstrong and Smothers and PG-13, are former holders of the USWA tag titles, and they will have the opportunity to be in that round robin that can provide for them a chance to go after the WWF tag team belt. Wolfie, Tracy Smothers.
Tracy in there with Wolfie D. Wolfie tangles up with him in the middle of the ring. Back Smothers in the corner. Referee Bill Rush right on top of it. And gets the break for Smothers. And Smothers saying, hey, pulled my hair.
Why not? He's going to say something when things don't seem to go right for him. Tracy, all of a sudden, here several months back, had a little attitude change, kind of like Koko B. Ware.
Oh, boy, hasn't he really changed?
Man, I mean to tell you. Tracy has gotten down and dirty and meaner than a snake. Over the top of Wolfie D. Into the rope. Look at Wolfie. Hooked him. Firing that right hand into the midsection. Reversal on the whip. Tracy misses the clothesline again. And Wolfie doesn't miss it.
What a move. Look at this. Saw one. And King Paul looks like your side of the team. And there may be in a little trouble there.
You're going to find out now. That's the baddest man in the world up there, Dark Death. And I'm King Paul.
Yeah. Well, first appearance on USWA Wrestling for King Paul along with Dark Death. Our first look at him on the USWA. And sure we'll be seeing him in the ring as Armstrong just rolls right out of the ring on the floor. Courtesy of PG-13, we might add over there.
PG-13 and Brian Christopher, that is an impressive threesome right there. As these guys, all of them, are the kind of attitude that they flat are going to take up any challenge that's offered, don't care where it is, and they're in a situation today that they've got somebody challenging. Jesse James Armstrong. Tag. Tracy steps out. Wolfie stays in. I'm kind of surprised at that. I thought they'd bring the first man in.
So here we go. Marietta, Georgia, Jesse James Armstrong. Armstrong with a little intimidation over there, or trying to intimidate JC Ice and Brian Christopher. I'm not sure it's working. Armstrong goes in after Wolfie D. Wolfie tightening up on that arm, twisting the arm of Jesse James. Backs him up, whips him in. What sets him up is JC. Boy, what a move in there, Lance.
Caught him coming off the rope, had that slingshot effect, and he nailed him on a clothesline and put Jesse flat on his back. His head bounced off that knot of hair on the back of his head. And PG-13 loving every minute of that. And look at Brian Christopher. He said, whoa, something the matter down there, Jesse James? These guys are aggressive. They do like to mix it up, all three of them. No slouches on the other side. I can't speak for Dark Death because we have not previously seen Dark Death in action here on USWA. And as yet, Dark Death has not had the tag to be in that ring. Just Tracy and now Jesse James Armstrong.
JCI of the PG-13 tag team. Backed in the corner there by Jesse James Armstrong. And Armstrong nails it. Couple of shots right to the midsection. Whips him into the other side. JC. Oh, he may have faked him off there. Look at that. Nice move from JCI. Yeah. Took him right down in there.
Hey, you're up on points.
Oh, my mic my mic just fell flat apart. The cable fell. That's got a lock in there. That can't do that.
What a day today.
In the ring.
For that super kick, okay? I mean it right now.
For his very first appearance in this six-man tag.
Uh-oh. They're calling for the super kick from Too Sexy Brian. Getting warmed up in there. And Tracy Smothers feeling it. He steps back. He's getting away from that kick of Christopher.
Anybody that's been around for 3 weeks knows full well what they're talking about when they talk about Christopher's super kick. He can deliver it super. No two ways about it. Tie it up. Tracy Smothers comes out with the advantage, but not for long. Nice, keeping it top.
He sure did. Doc Death saw it, Doc, and he didn't get in there. He's just standing right on the outside of the ring. And Smothers and Armstrong get out of there quick.
He went down there. Yeah, you know me. Who's the man? Yeah, baby.
Boy, he can do a hot dogging, can he? Tracy Smothers and Too Sexy Brian Christopher in the middle of the ring now. Tingling out. Christopher holding his own with Smothers. Brian giving up about 15, 16-pound weight difference to Tracy Smothers. Oh, boy. Scott Bowden has showed up at ringside now. Right here along with King Paul. Christopher! Good move.
James Armstrong was checking the hand of Dark Death. It looked like he was going to say, what's wrong with you? I didn't see it reaching out there to tag anybody. Jesse back in there with Brian Christopher. Dark Death still has made his debut inside the rope.
Dark Death is standing exactly where he stood when he came in there. He is a move. JC Ice backs up Jesse James Armstrong. Reversal there. Whipped into the rope. JC went for the flying press. Armstrong got away from it, and JC finds himself now. Now Armstrong goes to work on him, drops the knee down on JC. Comes back with another one. Jesse James Armstrong taking advantage of the mistake made by JCI for that flying press. And now we will see for the first time on USWA Wrestling, Dark Death. Look at this, Dark Death picks up JC. That chokehold just dropped him down. Boy, Dark Death coming in here at a weight of about 260 pounds. Snatched up JC in the air and just dropped him down in there, man.
be back in a minute. We'll keep it rolling right here. Be back. Well, I think this is the third time in umpteen years, I don't even want to talk about how many years, that we've ever gotten caught when the match ended right when we were gone. And wouldn't you know, this was a situation we've had a little difficulty technically, as you may know, and we didn't have the tape in a position where we were able to show it back in their day. But we can tell them how it came out.
Yes.
And the end result was with PG-13 and Brian Christopher. It was Christopher who came sailing off the ropes. Dark Death goes into the ring, first entry into this entire match in there. Bam, bam. Christopher comes off the ropes, puts him down, 1, 2, 3, and PG-13 and Brian Christopher win that match. And so the six-man tag goes to them.
You know, earlier in the day, we were talking about tag team matches, and I think you had mentioned a little bit earlier, this area has been known as the capital of tag team wrestling. Well, there's this big round-robin tournament coming up, and we had a discussion. Actually, we had an interview going on out here, and all of a sudden, here comes everybody else. Smothers and Armstrong came out, and PG-13 came out, and it took a while, and it took a lot of folks to finally get everybody pried apart here. The reason to bring it up and the reason we show you the video is just, I think, to let you know how the participants feel about the importance of this thing which is coming up here.
Boy, that's absolutely the truth. And I'll tell you, you had Gilbert and Rich in PG-13, and these guys, you know, are trying to be friends, and it's not working too well right at the moment. We got to take a break?
Yes, and then we'll be back.
Okay. We got it behind us. Son of a gun, is a good show today, even though we had a little problems here and there. But we'll be back next week. For Dave Brown, Corey Macklin, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.
Team title match is in fact underway. We've got Dangerous Doug Gilbert starting out against Wolfie D. JC on the outside, Tommy Rich on the outside. These guys have had some battles down through the years. And let me tell you, the last one, which ended up in a disqualification and a win for Gilbert and Rich. And look at Doug and Wolfie's face. Whoa! And Wolfie takes him right off his feet, pops him right down. Corey, I got a feeling this may be one of the landmark days of days. We have got some great stuff today. Wolfie underneath on the leapfrog, a reversal. Gilbert over on the hip toss. Hooks the arm and takes him back down to the middle of the ring. Wolfie D looking very good as he opens up.
Indeed. Well, Cat had my tongue there a little earlier, but we are excited about the action right here today on USWA Wrestling. As you have mentioned, Lance, including a big six-man tag with Rock and Roll Express and Koko B Ware coming up today.
I didn't even mention that. I just gotten as far as the Battle Royal and the defense of the USWA heavyweight title by the King, who won it back, as Lawler will be defending that title today right here against the winner of a big Battle Royal that will be coming up in just a few moments, or however long it takes for this particular match to be decided, and that could be an all-day affair with these two teams.
Got that right, Lance. Today is a day that you do not want to go anywhere. Full of action. Doug Gilbert.
Oh, let me tell them this, Corey. After Lawler won the USWA title back, Scott Bowden and Tex Slazenger stole the belt, walked away with them, and they have at this time, although we don't recognize them, they still have possession of those belts. Rich takes the tag, comes in against J.C. Ice. Now we've got them both in there.
Well, Rich and Gilbert. Doug takes after J.C. J.C. needs to get a tag on Wolfie over there if he can get to the corner. Well, he's going to stay in. Face off against Tommy Rich. Rich tags him in the corner. And he'll get a break out of it. Referee Bill Rush right on top of things there.
Rich, nice clean break. There's a lot of animosity between these two teams. That's the reason I mention that, because these guys have no hesitation about pulling a hammer on one another. Up to the top, double wrist lock, and Rich takes it around behind and a hammer, and a reversal on that one, and JC backs it up and steps away. All right, we've got ourselves a great tag match going right here.
Ooh, no doubt about it. Well, that's why experience comes into play, doesn't it? Tommy Rich stepped right into that rope, got himself a break, able to come back and get a tag on his partner, Doug Gilbert.
What is with Doug? Doug looks like he's telling Tommy, why didn't you hold on to it? I'm coming in here. I was going to nail his arm. You were supposed to be holding the arm, and he was kind of having a little trouble with Tommy right there in the corner. There it is. JC back up top. And once again, this time it was Gilbert. I believe he grabbed the hair and jerked him into that side headlock.
I was about to say that. I saw him pull his hair there. And Doug with a standing side headlock on JC Ice of PG-13. JC packs him up into the rope. Gilbert on the shoulder, leaps over JC Ice, comes back, nice hip toss from the Iceman. Takes him down, JC.
Got it going now, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
The co-champion really irritated because of those series of 4 moves that JC Ice pulled on him. And he walks back over to Wolfie D, and with no additional provocation, just punches him right in the midsection. And Wolfie down ready to meet him nose to nose. Doug Gilbert back in the ring right now, co-holder with Tommy Rich of the USWA title. BG thinks these titles belong to them, and they want them back.
Oh, they really do. Look at this. Whoa, Wolfie! Dodges that right hand from Doug Gilbert. Gilbert hit Rich. And Wolfie D taking advantage. Look at this, lad. 2, and Gilbert kicks out at 2.
He connected with that right, but it was on Tommy Rich, his own partner.
Whip. Look at this. PG-13 off the run. Double bulldog by PG-13 a cover. 2, and Rich saved the day for his team as he breaks the cover. Dangerous Doug Gilbert. Holding on to JC Ice. Tommy Wildfire Rich with a big elbow sends JC down to the mat. Wildfire backs him up, whips him in. Boy, double elbow as Gilbert joins his partner Rich, and they take JC Ice down. Well, this Rich and Gilbert really work together well in there.
JC slides over and makes the tag on Wolfie D, and Wolfie firing away with that right hand on Gilbert and Rich. Referee Bill Rush telling him to open the fist up as Wolfie whips Gilbert across, and now Rich holding on to Wolfie D as Gilbert goes up to the rope.
Oh, he's got a chain.
Yes, he does, and he nails Gilbert. Rich him down. There's the cover. Wolfie 1, 2, 3. He got it. We have new USWA tag champs. As we've said so often, Corey, the problem may be trying to get a hold of the belt. But let me tell you, now in the USWA, the problem is trying to hold on to them. We're going to take time out. We'll be back for the USWA title match in a moment.
Back on USWA Championship Wrestling. Ready now for
Big battle royal coming up, Lance. Yeah, we have a whale of a show today. As we said a little bit earlier, Dave unable to be with us today, and I'm sorry he's missing this great show. He'll be back next week. But what a battle. Remember, the end result of this is whoever wins it will get a shot today right here on the program with Jerry the King Lawler for the USWA heavyweight title belt. We've got the King who's out here with us, and he's going to be doing a little commentary as we have this Challenger Elimination Battle Royal. We'll pick up the names as we go through. It's officially underway and gone. At stake will be a shot at the USWA heavyweight belt. A lot of big ones in there, Jerry.
Well, Lance, I just hope that this battle royal lasts about maybe 45 minutes. That way, whoever finally does end up winning this thing is going to be tired. Their tongue's going to be hanging out like a long red necktie, and then that's going to make my job a little bit easier. It won't be too tough to beat somebody that's already had to beat about 20 guys.
We are looking at some of the names that are in there. Koko B, Ware, Brian Christopher, Ricky Morton, Tommy Gilbert, Tony Myers, a newcomer from Montgomery, Alabama. Ron Davis hitting the deck down there with Charlie Laird.
This reminds me...
Charlie's in the ring.
Lance, this reminds me of the day after Christmas sale at Dillard's.
There was D.D. Steele, yeah.
D.D.'s eliminated. There goes Charlie Laird. Right on the other side, and
boy, I'm still in shock that I have the USWA title back here. That Tex Blaster just handed over. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I knew he was going to hit. Then he turns around and rips Bowden's pants.
That was terrific.
Tracy Smothers, Jesse James Armstrong.
There goes Ron Davis.
That's Ron Davis. Ricky Morton dumped him out. So his debut here, J.C. Ice, just took a shot from Koko B, Ware. Tex Slazenger squaring off.
Tony Myers eliminated from the battle royal. Koko B, Ware, and goes after J.C. Tex Slazenger.
Who you think? Who you think, Corey? Who's your favorite? Who do you think's going to wind up winning this thing? Who am I going to have to face?
I don't know. So much
Gilbert up on the top
thing.
rope. Tracy Smothers about to get him over, but Rich saves Gilbert and brings him back in the ring.
Just barely saved him. Doug was an inch away from being eliminated from this thing.
You know, that's one of the things you got to look at in a situation like this. It's every man for himself, but still the Rock and Roll Express.
Whoa, there goes one of them.
Well, I started to say they had a distinct advantage, but no longer because Robert Gibson just got eliminated. But when you got a tag team that's used to working together, these guys are gonna go out of their way to help each other.
They do have that advantage. Good point, Jerry. Christopher over in the corner, nailing away on Koko B. Ware in the yellow jacket. Just felt the hard floor.
Hey, there goes Brian Christopher and Koko Ware.
Both of them over the ropes and out and down on the floor. Look at here.
They got a battle royal going right out in the seats.
Out in the crowd, Koko and Christopher. Oh, they got Whoopie D on the top rope. Trying to get Whoopie over. Who we got over there, Lance? Is that Smothers about to be dumped?
Smothers being pushed over by Doug Gilbert. Tracy on the top and Wolfie D and Doug Gilbert. How about that?
There goes Tracy Smothers.
Smothers is eliminated. There goes
PG-13.
There goes J.C. Ice of PG. Yeah, Ricky Morton's been eliminated. There's Whoopie D thrown over the top rope.
Recent champion Tex Slazenger was thrown out of there.
Well, King, you asked me earlier who I think you'd be facing.
Look out!
There goes Gilbert as Armstrong puts him out.
Whoa.
And look at this.
There's your boy.
Wildfire.
Tommy Rich.
Well, it's no stranger, Jerry. That's who you'll be facing in a very little while for the USWA heavyweight title.
Tommy Rich, the winner of the battle royal, and Rich will receive a shot at the King and Jerry. Rich looking for that USWA title.
Let's hurry up and get it started while he's still tired.
Okay, we're going to take time out. We'll be back for the USWA title match in a moment.
Going USWA Championship Wrestling with a USWA heavyweight title match right here today, sanctioned by the USWA. First introducing the challenger, advancing to this title match as winner of the Battle Royal, weighing in at 238 pounds, out of Atlanta, Georgia, Tommy Wildfire Rich. On the other side of the ring, coming in at 235 pounds, out of Memphis, Tennessee, the current holder of the USWA heavyweight title, here is Jerry, the King Lawler. Bill Rush, the official referee for this bout. The USWA heavyweight title is on the line today. Over the lane.
Boy, what a couple of great battlers we have in there right now. And the King and Wildfire Tommy Rich. Rich sticks the hands out, they shake it, and let me tell you, that'll be the last nice gesture you're going to see out of either one of these guys. They know what kind of grueling road is ahead of them as Rich breaks it up clean. He did, in fact, broke it clean, and Tommy... No, I said that was the last kind gesture that you would say. Both of you want to win it, and that's what you're in there for. Tommy getting a little irritated on the comments out here today, Corey. He wants that title, and now Tommy puts the hand out again. I'm not exactly sure about... He's going overboard. Lawler slips into a standing side headlock. The King shoveled off into the corner, and Wildfire waiting on it. Rich, of course, the former holder of the NWA World Heavyweight title, and Jerry the King Lawler, the holder of the Unified World Heavyweight. So we have first-class credentials meeting in, Bill Rush got trapped in behind Lawler, able to squeeze out a little to the side as Lawler once again put into the turnbuckles.
Yeah, Tommy Rich complaining about the commentary out here. He had better pay attention to the King. Worry about that. That left hand from Lawler. Stuck him that time. Big left from the King on Tommy Rich.
Rich is right. He did bust him with his fist, and he complained to the referee, and Lawler says, okay. And let me tell you, that's the way the tensions are between these two guys. They've met on a lot of occasions before. Rich cost Lawler his hair at one point in his career. And Tommy wheels back with that fist, and Lawler says, all right, one apiece. There's the drag, and fields him right out to the middle of the ring. Now Tommy says, I pull it tight. Hold it.
That's a nice move in there from Jerry. Lawler and Rich facing off right here today on USWA Wrestling. Boy, this is not half of the day today.
Single leg as the King takes him down and goes to the outside. That, as we've said 9,000 times in our last bunch of years, to me is one of those painful moves there is in there, because that ankle being twisted totally to the outside, and it really screws the knee up. Tommy takes a one count, lifts the shoulder up, and Lawler drops down with the elbow.
Rich with a handful of hair. And the King holding on, working over that left leg of Tommy Rich. Ooh, Rich. Thought maybe he was going to go for the scissors in there.
Tommy whipped him out of it with that leg and then hammered down on him, but they're both back up on their feet. Tommy's still suffering a little from that outside toe hold that Lawler put on him.
Yeah, he's limping. He goes up with the King, Jerry Lawler. Standing side headlock from Wildfire. Rich holding on. Lawler trying to work his way out. Backs Rich into the rope. Rich him in. Shoulder from Tommy Red. Nice hip toss from the King. Takes him down. Oh, boy. Rich said, hey, come on, ref, he pulled my tights.
Tommy, he could still be a little irritated at the fact, and I don't blame him. They ended up losing those USWA tag titles, they being Doug Gilbert, in case you just joined us. Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich had won those in a heck of a tournament last week, and they ended up defending them right back to their credit against PG-13. Doug seemed to be a little off his game today, and he ended up busting Tommy, and Wolfie D covered Tommy, won the titles back. So they were stripped out of the USWA tag titles that are now around the waist of PG-13. Lawler, Rich, back up from the corner. Lawler looking for an opportunity. Rich cautious enough, saying, get him out of the corner, get him out of the corner.
Lawler complaining to referee Bill Rush. Watch him. Tommy Rich looked as if he was going to his tights in there. And Lawler watching him out of the corner of the eye. Big elbow from the King. Knocks him over. Drops the right fist down on Rich. Lawler with a big right hand. Tommy Rich backs him out. Whips Jerry in, and they're both down.
Rich down outside the ring, Corey, and Lawler face down on the mat in there as they hammered the slingshot effect of the rope. Fired Lawler right smack into Rich's face. And from behind, look at here, Doug Gilbert. He came in. He had a chain, too. I saw it as he went running out of there. And he ripped Lawler with that chain. Rich covers him, count of 1, 2, 3, and we have a new USWA heavyweight champion as the King gets hammered by Gilbert. Rich is not even aware. He's the one. He's got the belt. He's not even aware of exactly what happened out there, Corey.
I don't think he is.
Wildfire Tommy Rich takes the belt and heads out of there. The King nailed and lost it right there. Good night. We'll take a break and be back. What a day. We're ready to go with a six-man tag match. Corey, we've got one really solid team involved in this one.
Ooh, no doubt about it. On one side of the ring, you got the team of Ron Davis, Charlie Laird, and T.D. Steele. On the other side, boy, Rick Morton, Robert Gibson, Rock and Roll Express, 5-time NWA World Tag Team Champion, and their partner, the Birdman, Koko B, Ware, and Andrea in their corner. There's the bell, and we're ready to do it, Lancer.
Okay, right now we've got some comments from the Rock and Roll Express. Let's take a listen.
You see, the Rock and Roll Express is back, and we have one priority. That is to get rid of PG-13, and then we're going to put the USWA belt back around our waist.
Looks like Ron Davis had some ideas of showing him that he belongs. Yeah, this is his first day at USWA. He was in the Battle Royal and wasn't able to stay too long, but he gave Ricky Morton and Robert a couple of rides in there that were pretty heavy. Look at this. He goes underneath. Double. Whoa. They worked on it.
High in the air. Davis came down. Tag man on T.D. Steele. Here's T.D. in. What is T.D.? Whips Robert Gibson in hard into the turnbuckle. Runs in after him, and mistake by T.D. Steele. Early mistake, too, boy, because Gibson takes advantage. Whips him into the ropes. Big elbow from Robert Gibson.
Man, he took those legs out from under him that time. He really hammered him with that elbow. T.D. Steele, we've always... Oh, look at that.
Come on.
Morton holds him up there, and Andrea slaps him across the face. I got to tell you, I always admired T.D. for his aggressiveness. There he turns him over, that reverse neck breaker as Koko. It's difficult to see what's happening in the ring, Corey, with all these bodies in between us. Gets better look at the monitor over here.
Double drop kick. Got TD still covered. 2 and 3. I think. Meanwhile, Koko Ware puts that bird buster on Charlie Lair. Absolutely uncalled for in there. They had the match won. Rock and Roll Express got the win, and Koko Ware
We'll take a break and be back. What a day. Here's a gentleman that can't be too happy about losing the belt, but even more so than that was the way. I think the fans told you what happened, Jerry.
Well, you're exactly right. Not only did the fans tell me, I went in the back, watched the little replay, and it's as obvious as the nose on your face, Lance, exactly what happened. Doug Gilbert, what's the deal, huh? What's the deal with Doug Gilbert coming out, and I got a title match with Tommy Rich. Doug Gilbert comes out with a chain and wins it for Tommy Rich. I want to know, Doug, are you man enough to come out here and try to explain your actions? You come out here in front of everybody, you want to be Mr. Big Fan Favorite, you want to shake hands, you want to high-five everybody, then you want to hit somebody with a chain when the back's turned. Why don't you come out here, Doug Gilbert, explain just exactly what's going on.
Yeah, here he comes. Now let's keep it down to just conversation here today. I know you want to know what he had on his mind. Why?
Lawler, I've got a lot on my mind, and for the last 4 days, I'm sure you know what I've had on my mind. It's all been you. It's all been you. Because of you, I lost my USWA tag team belts today.
Because of me? What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, Jerry Lawler. Don't sit out here. You might be in front of all these fans, and you want to think you're such a good guy. You're not. You know what you did, and it's better that me and you talk about this back here, and we don't talk about it out here.
Let me just say this. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what you've been doing last night, but maybe your brain ain't exactly right. I think you're talking out of your rear end because your head would know better. What are you talking about? I got no clue. How did I cause you to lose your tag title?
Let me tell you how you caused me. I'm sick. I'm fed up to here with you, Lawler, and what that is about. A guy called you. They're having a first anniversary show memorial for my brother in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Jerry Lawler. And he called you, and he asked you, said, King, could you come on up here and be on this show? What did you tell him, Jerry Lawler? See, it ain't what you did, it's what you won't do. See, you try to tell all these people, you're the big king, which I give you respect, and I give you credit, and I told you about 2 months ago, I would stand in line, and I would wait till you was through, and then I would take care of business around here. But Jerry Lawler, you're not half of the man I thought you was. You won't do nothing that you say. You won't. Me and my brother did so much for you, Jerry Lawler, and I guess you just seem to forget what me and my brother did for you, I guess, huh, King?
So that's what this is all about.
That's what it's all about, and I'm telling you, right now.
Oh, stop right there. Let me tell you something, okay? Let me do a little telling around here. Yeah, a promoter did call me from Philadelphia, and he tells me they're having a big extravaganza. It's a memorial for Eddie Gilbert. But why don't you tell everybody who that promoter is? Well, maybe everybody won't know who he is, but I sure as hell know who he is. His name is Dennis Carluzza. Do you remember that name? Or do you remember everything you and your brother did for me? Do you remember who Dennis Carluzza is? He's a shyster from Philadelphia who a few years ago came down here and made my life miserable by trying to claim to everybody that I had a couple of illegitimate kids running around Philadelphia. That's the same Dennis Carluzza that is promoting this big show, memorial for Eddie Gilbert. So no, I don't care about being on that, but let me tell you this, Doug.
No, you let me tell you something. Like I said, you must not remember nothing. You must not, you're talking about, I must be stupid or my memory's bad. No, your memory's bad. You think back about 13 years ago, everything my brother did for you, everything I did for you, and then what are you going to do in return? What are you going to do? You going to run the WWF? Or are you going to go home? You going to go there in Walnut Grove instead at your house?
Let's say this right now, Doug Gilbert. You want to talk about everything you and your brother did for me? Why don't we talk about everything you and your brother did to me? You want to talk about that? Let's talk about somebody's memory being good. My memory's real good, Doug Gilbert. I remember everything that you and your brother ever did to me. I remember right out here in the parking lot of this television station one day when your brother Eddie slammed me through the windshield of a car. I remember another time when I won a car and your brother Eddie came out with a baseball bat and busted the windshield out while I was sitting in it and glass went in my eyes. But let's top it all off. I'll tell you something I remember. You ought to remember this. You were sitting right beside him right out here in the parking lot when you and your brother were in a car and he ran